What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ review, and I want to talk about the Picard trailer that just dropped at Comic-Con. All right, there we go. Um, I'm flabbergasted about it. I am so happy with what we saw. All right, so we know that a couple things. We know that he starts out working on the vineyard, and he's been there for some time. In fact, it looks like he retired from Starfleet shortly after the events of Nemesis, of Star Trek Nemesis, after Data sacrifices himself, and the Enterprise returns to port with B4, and Riker and Troy go off on their ship, the Titan, I think, right? It looks like he retires shortly after that, and he ends up in the vineyard. And it sounds like he's been there for the better part of 20 years. But he hasn't been happy there. He's been having a hard time finding his identity away from Starfleet. And then this girl seeks him out. This young girl seeks him out, and we don't really know who she is or what her connection is to Picard or his past. But we know that she seeks him out, and we know that he knows that she's in horrible danger. So he actually assembles a crew to get her to safety. He's working outside of Starfleet in this one. I think it's interesting that he wears the Starfleet pin, but he's working outside of Starfleet, and he assembles a group to go out in space and to get her to safety. I think that's a great, given the character of Picard, the type of person that he was in the TV show and in the movies, we saw him evolve from the straight-laced Starfleet guy to a guy who was willing to even rebel against Starfleet. Remember in Insurrection? In Star Trek Insurrection, he was willing to take off the pin and rebel against Starfleet. Picard changed over time. And I think that it's perfectly within where he is as a character to work outside of Starfleet on this. Now, we don't know that he works outside of Starfleet. We actually see him having conversations with people in Starfleet. So maybe he is working within Starfleet, but my guess is he's kind of working outside of Starfleet. So that's kind of the plot right now that we're getting, and that's really what I was hoping for, was for it to kind of give us a taste of what this was going to be about. In the midst of that, there were some wonderful surprises. First, having Seven of Nine back. Remember, Seven of Nine was in Voyager, so she never crossed paths with Picard on the screen. I don't think she did, anyways. So having these two characters interact will be something new. These are two beloved Star Trek characters who've never interacted before, and now they're going to be working together, and that's exciting to me. It's also exciting that we're getting the Borg back. We haven't seen the Borg on screen since, probably in any meaningful way, in my opinion, in any meaningful way, we haven't seen them on the screen since First Contact. I know they were in Voyager a lot, and that was after First Contact, and there was an episode that had them in Enterprise, but the Borg kind of became a little less meaningful, in my opinion. They became a little watered down in Voyager and with their Enterprise appearance. And maybe you guys disagree with me, and that's fine. But in my opinion, the Borg became a little watered down. So the idea that the Borg are going to be back, that excites me, and hopefully they're this huge threat that Picard has to once again reconcile. You know, the Borg are Picard's Khan. They are. The Borg is Picard's Khan. And like Kirk defeated Khan when he was younger, in charge of the Enterprise, and then he defeats him again when he's older, kind of the same dynamics here. Picard had to defeat the Borg several times, but now to have to face them again as a much older man, a much different man, that's going to be a fun dynamic to explore. The idea that B4, it looks like B4 is going to have a role to play in this. We saw that Brent Spiner is returning his data. That's awesome. And then, but my guess is it's going to be B4 having uploaded Data's memories. And maybe it's one of those things where he's still having to teach before how to be Data, how to learn like Data did. So that's the relationship that I'm most interested in seeing develop, even more so than the Picard 7 of 9 relationship. I want to see the Picard B4 relationship continue to develop and just kind of see where that goes. And I thought it was so powerful when Picard says, "I don't want the game to end." And he's talking to Data before. He's talking to him. Powerful, just powerful stuff there. We learned in the panel that Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis are coming back as Riker and Deanna Troi. I think that's wonderful. Hopefully we get a glimpse of Riker captaining the Titan, because that's something that I always wanted to see. Honestly, I wanted Riker to get his own TV show. For whatever reason, it didn't happen, but I want to see Riker as a seasoned captain of Starfleet's flagship. That's what I want to see. It'd be cool if he even wasn't with the Titan anymore. It'd be cool if he was the captain of the Enterprise now. Who knows? But I'm happy that they're coming back. I think that's a natural fit for them to come back, because they're going to continue to have a relationship with Picard. Riker and Picard, Riker had several opportunities to leave the Enterprise under Picard's leadership and become a captain of his own. Riker stayed because of that relationship for so long. It wasn't until he was ready to get married and ready to move to a different phase of his life that he was willing to, and honestly, it wasn't until Picard was nearing the end of his career that Riker was ready to take that next step. So I'm so happy that they're coming back. And another character that's coming back from the Next Generation TV series is Hugh, the Borg Hugh. That's great. That's great. If this is going to be about the Borg, if the enemy is going to be the Borg, what better way to connect this to the Next Generation, and what better way to tell a dynamic story than to have Hugh in it? Something that connects to Picard. Man, I love this trailer, guys. I loved it. I got choked up at the end when he was playing with Data, when he said, "I don't want the game to end," and then the music came on. Da, 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 da. I got choked up. My eyes got watery. It did. I'm sorry. It did. Next Generation is my Star Trek. I watched it on its first run with my mom when I was a kid. It was something we did every week. We watched Star Trek Next Generation. And I was just flabbergasted by what we saw. So I loved it. Can't wait. Let me know what you thought of the Picard trailer in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here at the OQ Review, where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you later.